Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. I'm Chad Owens, and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. Yeah, we are at the end of the week. It's been an amazing week, and I want to say thank you for tuning in. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telecom, and Long's Drugs for making this show possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on in to the CO2 Rundown. All right, recapping last night's Thursday night game between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. I've talked about it with Junior on a Wednesday. We expected the Titans to take this one pretty convincingly, but the difference here was Phillip Rivers threw for over 300 yards passing, and he had a touchdown compared to Tannehill, who was just a little over 100. I think maybe closer to 150 was what it was. Rushing attack was pretty even, but the difference of the game, although the score was 34-17, they won by more than just a score, but the blocked punt that the Tennessee Titans gave up, which led to a Colts touchdown on that punt block. You know, I just remember in meetings, whether I was in the NFL, CFL, it didn't matter, college, the one play that we focus on the most is punt pro. Right? Because that's a game where you literally can lose games, because it's not just a huge change of field position. This particular one led to a touchdown and a huge momentum swing. So that's why we focus so much on punt pro. And as I watched the game and as I watched the play, the personal protector or the up back, he had a guy in the A gap and a guy coming in from that B, C gap here. Not saying it was his fault. He's the cleanup guy. It just didn't work out for them on that one. There was definitely some sort of miscommunication between him and the front line. So many details in just a punt protection play. It's one play of the game out of all the many plays in football, but it's the most spent play in all of football on all levels. So that was the difference in my opinion. Congrats to the Indianapolis Colts. The Masters ended in darkness yesterday due to a 3-hour rain delay, so they wasn't able to finish the first round, but Tiger got it done. He was a bright spot. The light was shining on him because he matched his best Masters first round ever. And look, Tiger's back. He got into a little bit of a slump, and then COVID hit, and sort of he's been out of the mix. But for some reason, that green jacket motivates him. And although there were no, fans, no people following the herds, that you normally see at the Masters, it was a little eerie, according to Tiger, but he was still able to zone in and be in that element, be in the moment, and match his best round ever. So, Paul Casey's in the lead, but you know what? Tiger is not ready to give up the green jacket. So I'm looking forward to seeing how day 2 goes. The University of Hawaii and Bank of Hawaii came together to have naming rights to the Stan Sheriff Center. It will now be called, you ready for this? The Simplify Arena by Bank of Hawaii at Stan Sheriff Center. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but what does this mean? It means that UH will get a nice chunk of change with $5 million spread out over a 10-year period. And this will also include, this I think is really, really amazing, $100,000 for a scholarship endowment in memory of Stan Sheriff. UH needs more things like this to stay afloat in the coming pandemic months. They are projecting a huge loss this year, and while this will help a little bit, it won't stop the projected loss of revenue, due to no fans during football games. Our University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior football team is in California right now as they are preparing to take on the San Diego State Aztecs tomorrow. And I got a chance to catch up with our sports guru, Mr. Steven Tsai, to discuss tomorrow's matchup. Check it out. All right, Steven Tsai, the sports genius, as I like to call you, man. I appreciate you tuning in to the CO2 rundown and giving me some of your time today. I know you're in, where are you? You're in California?
Yeah, I'm in Long Beach.
Long
the team
Beach.
is staying in Long Beach, and the game is at Carson, California. So Carson's about 10 minutes away from here.
Awesome. And the boys have been practicing at the, you said the Home Depot Center?
Well, they got in last night, and so they practiced on their home field last night, which is good because they practiced on grass field yesterday. Then they got here last night, and then they're gonna have a little walkthrough today. But the deal is that the stadium they're gonna play in today, it's a soccer stadium, so it's a grass field. So if they practice on grass, it's actually kind of nice to be playing on grass.
Oh yeah, it's always nice. I mean, I've always loved playing on grass, just the feel of it. You're not as fast as turf, but something about it when you put your foot in the ground and make that cut, especially well taken care of grass, like well managed grass, that's always the best, man. But awesome. Look, let's dive on in. You know, the boys are taking on San Diego State, and the reason why it's in Carson is because the Aztecs are getting a new stadium built in San Diego.
Right. A couple of years from now, hopefully Hawaii's going to get a new stadium too eventually. But yeah, so they're building that. They have to relocate a bit, kind of following a little bit what the San Diego Chargers did when they moved up to become the LA Chargers, kind of move a little bit of up. The only difference in this game is no fans again. So be a little bit of a different thing where you're playing in a new stadium, but without fans.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know a lot of teams are going through that with no fans. I know there's a few teams that are allowing it. So, but look, no excuses, right? We blank all that out. I know Hawaii's defense is focused on stopping the run. Greg Bell right now for the Aztecs is 4th in the nation in rushing. You know, what have you heard so far on Coach Graham's side? Like what are they talking about?
Well, it's not just getting to Bell. Bell's a really, the type of runner. It gets a little bit low, gets behind that big offensive line, but they try to add a little bit of extra stuff. They use one tight end. Sometimes they use double tight ends. And those tight ends can really just kind of stick you. And then they also kind of peel off a little bit and become threats. And one of the tight ends, Bellinger, he's great at blocking and in running like 30-yard routes. So you're talking about some guys who are not just threats, at the line of scrimmage, but they also become threats, peeling off and becoming receivers. So Hawaii's got a lot of things that they kind of have to worry about. They, first got to stop the run. That's what San Diego State's known for years and years, going all the way back to Marshall Faulk. That's been a running team. It's also a team that's also run well against Hawaii. So Hawaii's really got to focus on the run, but they've also got to watch the secondary stuff, the play action stuff that leads to other passes.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you establish, excuse me, I'm getting so excited. I'm trying to play defense for Hawaii right now, knocking earphones out. Yeah, so you said it. I mean, when you establish the run game, and you're known as a running team, and the defensive emphasis is so focused on stopping the run, yeah, you can't get lulled to sleep because next thing you know, here comes the play action pass, right? You formulate a whole game plan, defensive game plan around stopping the run, and here they might come out just passing the ball, right? So you can't really, I think, focus on one, too heavily on the run. I think, and I'm just putting myself in the defensive side. I'm putting myself on the D line and as a linebacker. I know linebackers want that challenge, right? They want that hard-nosed football games. They want to come downhill and just smack running backs. So I know they're up for the challenge. I know they're excited, but like you said, they do have to rally and prepare to cover everything across the board.
Well, one thing Hawaii's got going for them is they got a sophomore linebacker, Darius Musau, tough kid. He leads the team in tackles, double-digit tackles every game. Just a smart guy, and he knows where to go ahead of the play. And that comes from a lot of studying and a lot of visualization. And that's one of the things that's going to help a little bit of Hawaii in the running game, defending the running game, is that they've got a guy who can really anticipate and make plays.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the Aztecs defense. You think Hawaii's offense, I know they've struggled coming out the gate, and I know that starts at practice, and I know they're probably offensively, GJ Jean's making it a point of emphasis. Guys, we got to start faster. We got to come out the gate, because they've proven that they can rally and finish and make plays in the second half and when it matters on the stretch. But if they come out the gate firing the way that they've been finishing, I think they're going to present a problem for the Aztecs.
Right, and that's been a struggle. They're kind of puzzled by it because they want to run a really fast offense. And normally, when you run a fast offense, you get off to fast starts. But their 3 opening drives, they've only scored 1 touchdown. That was the last game against New Mexico. And the other thing about it is their first drive of the season didn't even start because they fumbled the opening kickoff. So this is a team that just really has to get focused and get going from the start. Now, what might help them in this game is that New Mexico played that 3-3-5 defense created by Rocky Long, who used to be the San Diego State defensive coordinator and head coach. So San Diego State runs exactly the same defense, in at least formation-wise, as New Mexico ran last week. So at least Hawaii will have some familiarity where they're going to see a little. I mean, the personnel is going to be different. San Diego State's a way better team, at least talent-wise. But you're going to see a lot of the same schemes you saw the week before. Maybe that's going to help Hawaii.
Well, that's a little bit of an advantage, right? To when it comes to preparation. So, we'll see how everything unfolds. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game, and this is these next 4 games is probably the toughest part of their schedule, right? So I think if they can build some momentum, beat San Diego on the road, and then we've got Boise coming up.
Boise.
We've got
Nevada's been very good.
Nevada and San Jose, correct?
San Jose, unbeaten so far. I mean, that's you got some pretty tough teams coming up. The good thing for Hawaii is they would have played 3 of their first 4 games on the road.
Yeah.
They'll have 3 of their last 4 at home. The bad news is it's against some pretty tough competition.
Yeah, but hey, it all starts tomorrow. Let's build this momentum. Let's get this dub on the road, and let's start rolling here, Steven. Look, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, as always, for your amazing insight during this pregame. Let's go, Bows.
I just like to see what you wear all the time. That's great.
That's it. Look, hey, I'm repping for the boys. The retro. I got the retro on today. So, look, man, I appreciate it again, Steven. And stay safe out there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chad.
Aloha. Thanks again, as always, Steven. Always great insight, man. Look, I know that the boys got their work cut out for them, but I know they're fired up. Like I talked about in my interview, I'm an offensive player, I'm a receiver, but I put myself on the defensive side. I put myself, in the linebackers, the D-line, that whole defensive unit. And, man, they have a mission to stop that number 4 rusher, right? Ranked number 4 in the nation. That's good stuff. That means they're pounding the rock. Look, I'm fired up for them. I know they're looking to, build some momentum, like I talked about, going into this next 4 games. Hardest part of their season, but if we can come through this, right, with a win, we got a good stretch of games at home to work to get it done. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go, Bows. And before I end today's show, I just want to remind you about how important it is to get your flu shots. Tomorrow, Long's Drugs will be hosting its Flu Shot Express at the Pearl Ridge Center office building next to Big City Diner and by the old Toys R Us location. You will receive a special Long's Drugs swag bag with your flu shot. Please, everyone, go get that done. Take a few moments and minutes out of your day. Make it a shopping day. Go get your flu shot. Go across the street. Do some shopping. Enjoy some time with the family. And go get yourself a swag bag. And that concludes today's CO2 Rundown. Look, I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. It was a solid week. I hope you guys had an amazing week, and going into this weekend, I hope you got some plans to go enjoy yourself. Go to the beach, spend some time, with the family. Again, go get your flu shots. Make that part of your weekend, and just enjoy yourself this weekend. We work so hard during the week, we grind it out, and the weekends are time to sort of reset, relax and reset, and have some fun. And I just want to give another huge thank you to our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telecom, and Long's Drugs. Guys, aloha. Happy Aloha Friday again. I'll see you guys on Monday.